Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and this is week 3 for Project Christmas Cheer 2024. And this week I decided to do something relatively simple, or so I thought, and in actuality it was. I used some of my scraps. Some of these are from last year's project paper, and this one was one that I used last week, and I had a couple of these left over. But I decided to make one of those, I believe they call them shutter cards, where it looks like a shutter opening and closing. And it really was relatively simple. I took one of my digitals to make the sentiment for the front, and then I jazzed it up just a little bit. And I used some of my wrapping paper for the, I guess the frame, the shutter frame. I don't really know what you call it. I did use wider strips here just because I was curious to see what those would look like. I'm not super happy with it, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't work. Certainly on a bigger card, this is a regular A2 card, or maybe a smaller sentiment in the center, or even just a different background. I don't know. I thought it was interesting enough to look at it, but in the end I wasn't real happy with it. So that's, you know, just one of those things. You never know till you try. But anyway, I've got one more sheet of this left to create some cards with, and I also found this holly paper, which I've already cut up, and I'm going to make 4 cards with it, and then that will still leave me with 2 of my sentiments, because the way I printed these and cut them out, I got, let's see, what we got 5 here. I got 12 to a page, and I will share this page with you if you're interested in this sentiment. I will share that on my, or in my Facebook group, Expressions Craft Studio, and it will be a PNG, I believe, if I can save it as a PNG, and then you should be able to move the little squares around and resize them if you want, if you're good with digitizing, that is. So I will put that out there for anybody who's interested. Otherwise, I'm going to pause the video and just restart it, and I'm just going to glue everything down. I did want to say, though, that I used my T-ruler to help me center. Since these are on point, it was a little harder for me to figure out exactly where the center was. So I did use my T-ruler. I kind of lined up my card on my mat, and my card front, or my mat layer, is 4 inches wide. So I found the center with my T-ruler, and then I used a pencil to make a mark from there to there, and the pencil line should be covered up with whatever I use to make the shutter frame. So that just helped me to get it kind of centered. Then I can line the top point and the bottom point up with that line, if that helps you. All right, I am back and I have finished putting together, I believe it's 10 cards. This one, I ran out of my strips of my homemade paper with wrapping paper. So I used some washi tape that I found, and it's actually a little bit narrower. And in the end, I do like this size better, but it was more fiddly to work with trying to get it lined up and stuck in the right spot, and then to get it to stick down permanently. I don't think this washi tape's that old, but it wants to kind of keep peeling up, so I'm probably going to have to glue it down. But I did like the size of it better, and I don't know. Let's see if we can figure out. How wide it is. Yeah, I don't like that. That ruler's got. Let's try this one. So I think it's 1/8 of an inch, which would be easy to cut with my cutting machine, my Cricut. Not as easy on one of these cutters, or at least not the ones that I have, the paper trimmers. But I do like that width better. So that's 1/8 of an inch. This one is one you saw at the beginning. This was the one that was wider. I like it the least. This one, there we go. That's my homemade paper, or my homemade wrapping paper. This one you saw. This one you saw. Now this was one I used my homemade wrapping paper, my foil, for the shutter portion. Same with that one. And then there's this one, which is backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it into a postcard. Assuming I can find my paper trimmer. So I'm just going to cut that off of there. Let's do it like this. And that should be 4 1/4. We're going to go just a little past it. And I'm just going to trim off all the edges just a little bit. I had left this the full 4 1/4 by, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size, and in the end I ended up not really liking that. So just trimming it down. This should be 5 1/4. Now I think this way still needs to come down a little bit. Yeah. All right. So I'll just make that a postcard, include it in an envelope like I normally would, because so this stuff doesn't get caught and roll up or anything. And I'll just stamp some lines or something on the back so somebody can write their greeting if they want. But yeah, oops, that's one way to fix a backwards card. Just make it a postcard. So what did we end up with? I think we ended up with 10 cards today. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards in a postcard. So we're going to say 10, adding to 21, which makes it 31 in week 3. So we're averaging about 10 a week, which is better than normal, better than before. So that's it for week 3, Project Christmas Cheer. You can find the digital for the sentiment in my Facebook group, which is linked below. And you can, if you want to know how to make your own wrapping paper, scrapbook paper, or cardstock, I have videos for that as well. And until next time, this is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and I hope you guys have a happy crafty day. Thank you.